Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the GioMoShow right here on 88.3 FM WXOU, Auburn Hills, Michigan, Oakland University. Station identification complete. Sorry, I wanted to let the intro ride a little bit here if you're listening on WXOU. But if you're on YouTube, then you just saw me waiting for no reason. But that is my hint to say that if you're listening on WXOU.org, head over to YouTube as we got the video feed on the GioMoShow's YouTube channel at the GioMoShow. But if you're also on YouTube, then you can find the bit of a nicer live sound quality over on WXOU.org. So we let you guys choose here on the GioMoShow. And the GioMoShow, if you're not familiar and you're joining me for the first time, let me tell you what we do here on the GioMoShow. We are your home for Oakland sports and beyond on 88.3 FM. I'm Giovanni Mosheri, sports media director here at WXOU and host of the show. Don't forget to follow WXOU on our MAB award-winning social media platforms. Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is where you can find WXOU. You can find us on our Discord server through our website, WXOU.org. And while you're on the internet, you can find me as well. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Somewhere, I'm also on TikTok. The GioMoShow's got its own Instagram page. You can follow that at the GioMoShow. And you can find the GioMoShow on Twitter at simply GioMoSheri WXOU. If you're on YouTube, then it's on screen for you right now, but otherwise you can find me on social media. And if you're not with me right now, neither live on YouTube, neither on WXOU.org, well, no problem, because the GioMoShow is uploaded to YouTube and to podcasts everywhere right after the show, so there's no way to miss your Golden Grizzly sports and beyond. And one last announcement, to go and subscribe to WXOU Sports on YouTube. That's where we got some of our live game broadcasts. That's where we got highlights, interviews, shows, everything that you need from WXOU Sports. Just search WXOU Sports on YouTube. They will be broadcasting tonight's game of men's basketball from Indianapolis against Cleveland State. So be sure to go and take a listen to your Golden Grizzlies if you can't make it to the watch party over in the Habitat today. I'm mixing in a lot of announcements in the same time here, but we'll get to it in its own time. But a lot of places to go, a lot of places to be, a lot of places to find WXOU. Do you need something fun to do with your friends? Escape rooms are an incredible way to spend time with friends, family, and loved ones. And Escapology is the largest and best escape room franchise in the world. They have escape rooms such as Scooby-Doo, Murder on the Orient Express, The Code, and Under Pressure, and another brand new themed room coming this summer. On Tuesdays through May 31st, buy one full price ticket and a second person plays free. Use the code TWOFER, that's TWOFER. Visit Escapology.com for more information. Again, that's Escapology.com. Escapology is located at 82 Macomb Place in Mt Clemens. Escapology, where time is of the essence. So, giving a quick rundown what we'll be talking about today. We got men's and women's basketball as the Horizon League tournament is upon us. It is over for one team, but it continues for another. We'll talk about baseball and softball as well, as there's plenty of action going on outside the state of Michigan in terms of the diamond sports of our Golden Grizzlies. And like I mentioned before, we got a broadcast on WXOU Sports. We got it right here from WXOU.org. Or on our YouTube channel, we got men's basketball tonight at 7 o'clock against Cleveland State. So be sure to tune in for that. Like and subscribe to the YouTube and everything there. So without further ado, let's finally get into some of the Golden Grizzlies sports here. We'll start with men's basketball. So earlier this week, the Horizon League awarded their regular season honors to all the deserving players in the Horizon League. And for men's basketball, Oakland got a pretty good haul out of the deal here. We mentioned last week that the all-academic team was announced that included Trey Townsend and Blake Lattman at the official team that Chris Conway was named to the honorable mentions part of the team, which is its own incredible accomplishment in terms of all the work that they have to do, not only on the court, but also, in the classroom. That stuff's not easy, dude. Like, even for me doing classes and also doing radio, like, it's not even close to what they do with their studies and their athletics. It's an incredible accomplishment to be on the all-academic team, but other awards were announced as well. Blake Lampman was awarded to the second team all-conference team. I wish there was a better way to phrase it. In addition to that, he was awarded to, or he was included in the Sportsmanship Award finalists, was Blake Lampman, the fifth-year guard for Oakland University. Getting further down, because we're not done yet, Jack Golke was announced as the sixth man of the year of the Horizon League in his first year in being in the Horizon League, shooting all the kinds of threes during the season. He was up there in like top 3 and 3-point percentage, 3 points per game, and all kinds of shooting stats like that, attempts per game. He was definitely up there and deserving of the sixth man of the year award. Blake Lampman also included in a lot of those top 3-point shooting statistics and rankings in the Horizon League. But the big fish, the big story, and the biggest announcement from the Horizon League was the announcement of the first team All Horizon League. Trey Townsend was included in the Horizon League first team, and they went even further beyond that. Not done there even yet. Trey Townsend, in addition to the first team all conference, was named the player of the year. The Horizon League MVP is hoisted by Mr. Oakland himself in Trey Townsend. In what was a very competitive award for this year. You had plenty of players on the first team that had their chance to go and take it. You had Noah Reynolds from Green Bay, Tristan Enaruna from Cleveland State, Marquez Warwick, Northern Kentucky, and Trey Calvin of Wright State. All fantastic players deserving of the first team and potentially deserving of the player of the year, but Trey Townsend just did it all this season. You look at his stats, and it's not number one in scoring and number one in rebounding. No. It's a mix of everything. He's like top 10 in scoring. He's top 5 in rebounding. He's up there in assists and all kinds of stats. It's not just the leading scorer on the team. He does everything. He distributes the ball. He draws the defense. He gets the rebounds, scores the tough points, even when it doesn't look like it's the prettiest. He's getting doubled and triple teamed many times down there in the paint, and he's still able to get it done, which is why the Horizon League awarded him the MVP of the league. So a huge congratulations to Blake and to Jack and to Trey and to all other players that were announced to first, second, third team, all defensive team, freshman team, everybody who was award for this season. Congratulations to you. It was a tough season for the Horizon League, and you guys made a splash in the league. So congrats to all those who won awards. So let's actually move on to the game. Let's move on to the games that were played. So last time we saw the Golden Grizzlies was this past Thursday night against the number 8 seed Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. The Dons came in here, yes, as the 8th seed, but they also won 20 games this season, tying Oakland, who was at the number 1 seed for this year. Obviously, it's a conference record that matters ultimately, but that just goes to show that if a 20-win team is the 8th seed, that means the conference is pretty loaded and pretty crowded. So it means a super competitive tournament. And Oakland, working so hard to get to the top seed, was awarded that home game and thus got to play in front of their home crowd in a game that ended in a 75-65 win for our Golden Grizzlies. I was on the call for the Odyssey broadcast along with Drew Allison, and I did so with a very hoarse voice because of last Tuesday's women's game, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but Drew really carried me in that broadcast. We also had the WXOU broadcast with Noah and Justin. So a lot going on for this final home game of the season, but Oakland made a show of it. 75-65 for the Golden Grizzlies win, and they continue on now to the semifinals, but we'll keep diving deeper into this game. So if I were to tell you that in this game, forget the result that I already spoiled for you. If I told you that Blake Lampman, Trey Townsend, and Jack Golke would score under 10 points and would not shoot very well, and to give the numbers, Lampman was 2 of 10, Golke was 3 of 6, Trey Townsend was 3 of 8. If I were to tell you that those were the scoring stats for the 3 players that were received high honors, you would think that we lost. But that's not true. The old team of the Golden Grizzlies would have lost. But not this year's team. This year's team's got depth like crazy. This year's got depth that got them to the number 1 seed. And that depth came up and showed out for this game. It was Rocket Watts and DQ Cole. DQ Cole starting, so I'm not sure if you could call him depth, but Rocket Watts coming off of the bench. Both players led the Golden Grizzlies in scoring. Rocket Watts had 18 points. DQ Cole had 14 points, both of which were shot incredibly efficiently. Rocket Watts was 7 of 10 from the field, making 4 of his 4 free throws. And DQ Cole was 6 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, to get him his 14 points. He was fouled out in a controversial manner, but that is besides the point. I just wanted to mention that. Chris Conway also was getting the work done, 5 of 6 from the floor, and he included a three-pointer in that. He was 1 of 1 from 3, which I'm pretty sure he's only shot 3 of them this year, at least the ones that I've seen with my own eyes. I can't remember which games, but I know the Wright State game, he took 1, didn't make it, and I know in this game he took 1 to make it, the one before, I can't remember. But in addition to the three-pointer that Chris Conway got, he had 4 boards and 4 blocks in this game by himself. Purdue Fort Wayne is the 3rd shortest team in the country by average height, and the Golden Grizzlies took advantage of that by swatting them like flies, dude. It was awesome to watch. Oakland ended up with 8 blocks overall in the game. Trey Townsend had 2, Blake Lampman had 1, and Baru, of course, got his hands dirty with 1 as well. But it was a great game by the Golden Grizzlies. They led pretty handily, pretty heavily for most of the game. Their lead got up to 21 points pretty quickly there and held Purdue Fort Wayne to 27 points going into halftime and left them scoreless for like the first 4 minutes coming out of halftime. So Oakland really had a huge control of this game for much of it, but it's not a tournament game without a little bit of stress and a little bit of anxiety. That came within the last couple minutes of the game where Purdue Fort Wayne got it within 1 possession. They got it within 3 points. And luckily, I mean, in that situation, Purdue Fort Wayne was forced to give Oakland free throws. And Oakland was not fazed in front of their home crowd. Like I mentioned, Rocket Watts 4-4. Blake Lampman was also 4-4. And Baru was 4-4, all from the line. And I do want to mention that even though Trey had 6 points, he had 11 rebounds. Wow. I didn't even see that until now. But, hey, that's MVP. But either way, in that situation where Oakland had to shoot free throws, they didn't miss. 15 of 16 from the line. Well, they missed 1. But 15 of 16 from the line, that's what championship teams do. When it's coming down to the stretch, the strategy of fouling is not going to work. The fate is sealed in that sense of the game for the number 1 seed. So in addition to that, in the 65 to 70 or the 75 to 65 win over the Dons, and no, let me rewind. Purdue Fort Wayne played a great game and being able to come back from that. It's not often that we get the opposing team for a post-game press conference in the arena, and we all of us stayed to hear, I forgot the coach's name, but we stayed to see the post-game press conference for Purdue Fort Wayne, and that's a talented team. That's a good team. They are capable of nuclear destruction, as we saw them put like 96 on us in the arena. They're capable of an immense destruction, and they're a young team too. They got 4 of their 5 starters coming back next year, juniors and sophomores coming back. And that team is going to be scary. That team is just a couple years removed from I don't know if it's a regular season or a tournament champion, but they're a couple years removed from a championship level team. Purdue Fort Wayne is going to be good next year, and I want to say a good game to them. They played really well against throughout the year, and especially against us in dire straits in front of a crowd that was losing their mind. We'll get to the crowd in just a second, but I just want to give my props to Purdue Fort Wayne and my due respect to them, as next year they're probably going to be pretty good. So great job to them. And I do also want to talk about the crowd in the arena that day for the last home game of the season. And I mentioned this on the GioMoShow preview that I put out to also here at YouTube and to social media, but That crowd is everything that I wanted the arena to be. All season long, I'm not taking credit for this. Let me stop right there. I'm not taking credit for this, but I've been putting a great deal of effort and emphasis into getting to these games. I've been giving my senior speech every week now for like the past 3 or 4 weeks, and I will continue to do so, like leading in from this subject. But the crowd in the arena, that game, was stupendous. It was fantastic and astonishing and astounding. It was such a great crowd. The stands were packed. The student section was packed. The swim team doing their thing, going above and beyond. It's incredible to see the love for the Golden Grizzlies and to see what the school is capable of in terms of an atmosphere like that. Legend has it that every game was to that level in the arena before COVID. Legend has it that was routine. I say legend has it because I haven't been there to see it, and it's not that I don't trust the people that have been telling me, but I only know what I know, and I don't know that. But to get back to what Oakland has been doing in terms of a mid-major basketball atmosphere, regarded as one of the best mid-major basketball experiences in the country. The game against Purdue Fort Wayne and the one against Detroit before that were shining examples of what this school is capable of and what this university and campus is capable of in terms of hype and excitement for their teams. It's something that I've been wanting from Oakland, especially this season. I've been wanting it the whole time. And to get it and to experience it was amazing. I got to be in the crowd for Detroit, and I got to see it from the radio side on Thursday. You guys were incredible. You guys were credited by Campy to willing us to a win when Oakland was in dire straits at the last couple minutes. You guys won us the game. And I'll read you the quote here, because if you think I'm kidding and I'm exaggerating, I will read you the quote from the post-game press conference that I was there to listen to, but I got via the Oakland Post. Campy said, "We worked all year to get this home game. And at the most important time, we use the crowd. I will tell you, we've played tournament games here before. That was the biggest crowd we've ever had for a tournament game," Campy said. "And they willed us to a win. They were fantastic. Our students, our swim team, obviously. But the students were back. I mean, the student section in the old days was like that every game. It didn't matter who we were playing. They were like that." It was incredible, that crowd. And it was just, I'm so happy, and it melts my heart to see that and to see all the hype and the excitement kind of materialize into a game like that. And it will lead me now into my senior speech, part 3. Or 2.5, I'd say, because it's kind of half into this subject. But I want to get the swim team shout out of the way here. Throwing the kitchen sink at the Dons being the Mastodons, after the Blacktop Barbershop against Cleveland State where they shaved their heads in front of free throws. This time they were chugging milk. This time they were waxing each other with wax strips. They even, and I swear when I say this, they were waxing one of the weather people from Fox 2. Somehow they got a hold of him and said, "Hey, do you want to get waxed at Oakland?" And one of the highlights, like if you look at the one that's right across the person's chest, that person is from Fox 2, not on the swim team. I don't know if it used to be. I don't know how they got in contact with them, but I was told that one of the Fox 2 weather boys was the ones getting waxed in addition to the swimmers. So that also happened. And that wasn't even the craziest thing that happened during that game from the swim team. Ian Allen strikes again, and in addition to getting waxed, he got a tattoo done during the game. I don't know how. I don't know how they got the tattoo gun in there, but I saw with my own eyes and through the cameras. There was a tattoo artist with the blue gloves on, with the latex gloves. He was giving the tattoo of the Oakland logo on the chest of Ian Allen. It did cost Purdue Fort Wayne free throws. It's not for nothing. It worked. So I want to give them their shout out before I start getting into my kind of senior speech. But that place was a zoo. That's what I want these games to be. That's what these games should be. That's what these games have been. That kind of turnout is exactly what I've been wanting. That's what a college atmosphere should be. That is the beauty of college sports, is the fact that there's such a concentration of hype and excitement, not only for the 5 basketball players on the court. They represent more than that. And this is the beauty of sports as a whole, but I'll focus it into the college sports scene. Sports represent the people watching. When you watch in the stands, you're not just cheering for your friend, if it happens to be your friend. You're not just cheering for the points and the stats. You're cheering for your identity. You're cheering for the team that makes you who you are. You're cheering for not just Trey Townsend or Blake Lampman. You're cheering for Oakland. You're cheering for the Golden Grizzlies because you're a Golden Grizzly. Because that's who you are. You coming to this university is a mark on your identity, whether you want it to be or not. You will always be a Golden Grizzly, and thus you cheer for them. And to have that kind of connection with the team and the university and the venue and everything there is what creates that immense passion. That's what Oakland was able to display these past 2 games, and that's what I want them to do for all sports at all games. That's what I want. You don't have to go the intensity and the route of what the swim team is doing. You don't have to wax yourself. You don't have to get a haircut. It would be cool, but it's too high of an expectation. That's not what I'm saying for you guys to do. What I'm saying is to just, if your passion for Oakland is simply standing and cheering, that's great. Do that, and do that the best you can and the loudest you can. If it materializes in making a funny sign, if it is in the sense of waving a flag or, just doing whatever, if that's how it manifests, do it. I find it even therapeutic at times just to simply blow off steam and to give the other team the business and to show them who's boss and whose house they're in. That's what college sports is about. That's what I want students of the university to be about. I'm not here to listen to people at Oakland go and be fans of Michigan or Michigan State, or to have college fandom elsewhere. Professional fandom, whatever. If you don't like the Detroit teams, that's fine. But I'm not here to see students walking around with Michigan and Michigan State gear on. I want them to be Oakland. I want them to be fans of Oakland. Because we have teams that are just as fun to watch, just as exciting as those teams. And you don't go to those schools. Those teams are not your identity. Your father or your family or your mother might go there, but you are at Oakland University. College is a time for you to find your own independent identity, and the Golden Grizzlies are going to be a part of it. That's what I want. I want people to have that same identity connection to the team. I want them to go crazy. I want them to show everybody that Oakland is not just playing second and third fiddle to the Big Ten teams in the state. I want Oakland to be on the same stage and the same level as those teams in terms of crowd and student excitement and enjoyment. That's what I want. Oakland can do that, and Oakland has done that, and Oakland will now continue to do that. Because this team's good. At least this men's basketball team is good and is worth your cheering and your attention and your fandom. That's what I want Oakland to be. I don't want people to buy into the idea. And I see this everywhere. So I'm not making this up when I say it. I don't want people to buy into the idea that Oakland is just some commuter school. That Oakland is just some place that you drive to and you go to class and you go home. People think of Oakland that way, and I find great shame in that. I find that it's such a shame to reduce your university, all the time and money that you spend here, and all that you invest into this university, and you don't even get everything out of it because all you do is reduce it to a simple commuter school. There's nothing to do on campus. I can't stay on campus and do fun stuff. There's nothing to do here. I will not stand for people simply rolling over and thinking of Oakland as the boring alternative to UofM and MSU. Oakland is more than that. Oakland is more exciting and fun than that. You just got to look. You just got to find the games. You got to go to social media and find what Oakland's doing. Go to the website and find a schedule for the games. Get your friends together and make an event out of it. You can think Oakland is boring, but that means that you're making it boring. You could be having just as much fun as I am here at Oakland University, but instead you just let it roll by. You're only a student here for so long, and you have to take advantage of it. It's got to come from you wanting to do it, and it's got to come from a pure excitement. If you've never been there before, go watch one. Test it out. See how it is. Buy into it. You'll have so much more fun at college if you just buy in and let yourself be a fan and get invested into it. Why limit yourself to just being a commuter student? If you are a commuter student, stay on campus. Find things to do. Go to Grizzorgs. Find events. Enjoy your time at Oakland because you're only here for so long. And enjoy specifically the sports, I would say. You can go and enjoy whatever club it is, but at least from the GioMoShow's platform and perspective, go to the sports games. We got a watch party tonight in the Habitat for the semifinals game against Cleveland State, which is what I'll wrap up my senior speech with. I'll be hosting the event via Grizz Gang. WXOU will be there helping as well. But that's the time. Those are the events and those are the moments where you get to be with your fellow students and even some of your alumni and those otherwise fans of Oakland basketball. Get there. 7 o'clock in the Habitat. We'll have the game playing. That's your time to have fun and to be invested into it. So, 7 o'clock, the semifinals of the Horizon League tournament. Oakland will be playing Cleveland State. Be sure to watch it here in the Habitat with us. Listen to it on WXOU. Or, at your own convenience, it is on ESPNU. It is on national television. But get excited and get invested because your Golden Grizzlies are on their way to March Madness. Every time people ask me about Oakland basketball, they mention the word March Madness. Are we in March Madness? Can we make it to March Madness? No and yes to those questions. This tournament has to be won by the Golden Grizzlies, and then we'll be in March Madness. So for watching this game, you are seeing Oakland on the road to March Madness. That's historic here at Oakland University. That's a time where you could say that I watched them play and I watched them in person. The team that went to the big dance, I was there to watch it. I was excited for it. I cost the other team a free throw that led to Oakland winning. You are a piece of Oakland history here by riding this wave and being on the bandwagon and being on the ride for this game and this tournament run. Tonight's the night, 7 o'clock. Horizon League Tournament, Oakland versus Cleveland State. We'll be right back here on the GioMoShow. We'll get out to women's basketball and baseball, softball as well. I gotta reel it back a little bit. I wound myself up over there. But seriously, I mean, you guys can see the passion I have for this. I want you guys to have that same passion as well. It ain't fugazi, okay? I'm for real. But either way, that'll close out at least the men's basketball segment of the show. We'll get to women's basketball. We'll get to baseball and softball as part of the GioMoShow right after I tell you about the Blue Ski Mask Show. Tuesdays from 4 to 5, tune in to the ultimate radio show for Detroit football and basketball aficionados. In this thrilling program, Oakland Post sports editor Brock Hillig and sports reporter Kirk Szymanski will take you on an exhilarating ride through the world of the Detroit Lions and Detroit Pistons. Get ready for in-depth analysis, player spotlights, game reviews, expert insights, all centered around the NFL and NBA action in the Motor City. Tuesdays from 4 to 5 is the Blue Ski Mask Show right here on WXOU. If you want to hear about Troy Weaver yelling at a fan, if you want to hear about a fan yelling at Troy Weaver, however way you see the situation, they'll be talking about it tomorrow at 4 o'clock right here on WXOU. So we'll be getting to women's basketball when we come back here on the GioMoShow. So now we're going to get into women's basketball, and then we'll be following up with baseball and softball as well. I want to remind you guys once again, WXOU will be broadcasting tonight's men's basketball game from Indianapolis at 7 o'clock tonight against Cleveland State. It'll be Harja Butar and Gavin Smilowski on the call with Chelsea in the studio for you guys. Be sure to tune in right here on WXOU or on WXOU Sports on YouTube. Now for women's basketball, the Horizon League gave out their regular season awards as well as the men. And Brooke Quarles-Daniels made the team of the second All-Horizon League team as well as the All-Defensive team. Getting double trouble there in the Horizon League regular season awards. Brooke Quarles-Daniels, second team All-Horizon League and All-Horizon League defensive team. I don't know the specific way I don't know how specifically they're named in terms of second team All-Horizon League or All-Conference second team or All-Horizon League second team. You guys understand what I'm saying, but I feel like there should be a more specific way to say it. But either way, congratulations to Brooke Quarles-Daniels for making both teams for the Horizon League. And to get into their games, unfortunately, their season came to an end over the past week. Tuesday night against Northern Kentucky, the Golden Grizzlies played their final game of the season. 62-70 was the final score against the Norse in the 8th seed and 9th seed game hosted at Oakland University in the O-Arena. Oakland did have the slight lead after the first quarter, but could not hold on for the rest of the game as Northern Kentucky proceeded to gain the lead and gain control of the lead, and as Oakland University racking up fouls quickly throughout. So that unfortunately met an end to the season for the Golden Grizzlies, 70-62 to the Northern Kentucky Norse. Northern Kentucky would go on to get buzzsawed by the number 1 seed in Cleveland State, so just a quick update as to where they ended up going in the tournament. They lost in the Northern Kentucky lost in the quarterfinals to the reigning champion, number 1 seed, Cleveland State. Getting into the stats for the final game of the season, Maddie Skorupski, team high 22 points, 7 of 11 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, and 5 of 5 from the free throw line. 3 rebounds and 2 assists and a steal as well. Skorupski had a heck of a game. Brooke Quarles-Daniels, 7 of 16 from the floor, and fortunately 1 of 4 from the free throw line. 10 rebounds included for her 15 points and 5 assists. So to rewind that, Brooke Quarles-Daniels, 15, 10, and 5. As well as Linda Van Schaik, 11 points. On top of that, to get your double-digit scores for the Golden Grizzlies. But as mentioned, their season is no more. And it's an unfortunate thing for the Golden Grizzlies, but a congratulations to Oakland on a great season amidst missing their head coach in Jeff Tungett. Deanna Richard did a fantastic job steering the ship in his absence and leading the Golden Grizzlies to a fruitful season. So now we will move on to baseball. For Oakland University, they're still on Oakland baseball finished up their initial long road trip because they'll be home soon. Oakland, we'll start the topic with this. Oakland baseball will be at home for tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Both at 2:30, they will be at the Oakland baseball field against Rochester and Cleary University, respectively. So Tuesday, 2:30 against Rochester, and Wednesday, 2:30 against Cleary. And I will say, last year against Rochester, the score was literally 35-4. So if you're looking for fireworks in the middle of the day, then that would be the place to be. The weather's going to be nice, too. It's going to be in the 60s, partly cloudy. It'll be a great day for Oakland baseball to open up their home part of the season. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Oakland baseball at the Baseball Diamond, 2:30 against the WAC conference. WAC, I think. I forget what it's called. But either way, getting to the past baseball they've been playing, last Wednesday they opened up Michigan's home season in Ann Arbor, meaning that Oakland was the home opener for Michigan baseball. And I'm going to go a little more into detail of this game, not only because it was a bit of a storied game, but I was on Woodward Sports last Wednesday. Matt Broder, the host of the morning show, who was kind enough to have me onto the show, was a former pitcher for the Wolverines, and we got a little bit, I had a little smack talk for him because Oakland has beaten Michigan in baseball the past 2 seasons. Fortunately, that did not continue because of my big fat mouth. Oakland loses to the Wolverines 13-5, but it was a lot closer than you would expect. So with that game, to kind of bring you through the innings here, it was scoreless for the first, until the 3rd inning, where Oakland got their first run to go up 1-0. But unfortunately, Michigan ripped off 6 runs in their share of the 3rd inning to go up 6-1 over the Golden Grizzlies. Oakland would make an effort in the 4th inning with 3 runs, but Michigan matched it with 2. Or not matching it, but Michigan got 2 runs in there. And then by the time the 7th inning was done, the score was 8-5 in favor of the Wolverines. Oakland still within reach of the game here, but in the 8th inning, Oakland was unable to score a single run as Michigan poured it on with 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to give us a final score of 13-5 in favor of the Wolverines. They get their first win over Oakland in the past 3 years. The series under Jordan Banfield is now 2-1. Still favor the Golden Grizzlies. Oakland gave up 15 runs in that game, or 15 hits in that game, rather, for 13 runs. Oakland, 7 hits for 5 runs. So, all right, Broder, you got me there. We'll see you next season, but I'm just saying Oakland still got the lead in the series between Jordan Banfield's Golden Grizzlies and the Wolverines. So you win this round, Matt Broder. But we'll see you next time. Now getting into the Golden Grizzlies past weekend, they were on a trip to Texas against the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. I just think it's fun to say that way. But Oakland ends up in that 3-game series, 1-2, unfortunately. First game was a loss 4-6. I don't even know. I'm not even going to pretend to know what their mascot is, but to Texas. But then the second game was an 11-6 win for the Golden Grizzlies to tie up the series in the second game. We'll go into more detail of that one. In the first inning, Rio Grande started off with scoring in the bottom of the first inning, and ended up going up 3-1 after the second inning. Oakland would tie it up in the 3rd. It would remain tied with 1 run each in the 5th. Oakland gets the lead in the 6th inning, and then in the 8th inning, they pour on 5 runs over in the 8th inning to push the lead out of reach for Texas and to end the game at the final score of 11-6. Hope you guys were able to follow that. In the game, just to kind of get into a little bit of the box score here, Ian Cleary at 5 at-bats had a hit for a run along with 2 RBIs. Brandon Nye at 3 at-bats had 2 hits and 1 run. Lucas Day at 4 at-bats, 2 hits, 2 runs, and an RBI. And then Brandon Heidel, 3 at-bats, 2 hits, 3 runs, and 1 RBI. So pretty stacked offensive day for the second game of the series against Texas, but unfortunately the 3rd game would come to a loss for the Golden Grizzlies. Final score was 3-8. So that'll put Oakland at 4-10 so far in the season, and like mentioned before, they will be facing at home for their first home games of the season. They will face Rochester tomorrow at 2:30, and then Cleary University Wednesday at 2:30 for games that should sport pretty decent weather. About mid-60s, partly cloudy, at least as of my morning view of the forecast. But it's going to be a great day for baseball. Hope you guys are able to go out and to watch and cheer on your Golden Grizzlies because, at the very least, it's an excuse to get outside. We've been in the winter for so long, and finally we got outdoor sports in nice weather. That'd be a good day to get some fresh air, just watch some baseball. And it's going to be fireworks for that game. Not literal, but there'll be some scoring in that game, so it'll definitely be one to be entertaining. Same thing goes for Cleary on Wednesday at 2:30. Weather should be about similar, mid-60s, lower 60s, partly cloudy for Wednesday at 2:30. So that will close it out for baseball. We're going to take one more break here. Hopefully the wall is working. But we'll take one more break before getting into softball here on the GioMoShow. When we come back right here, let's see if the wall works. Let's see. Darn it, it does not work. So we'll go to the purple binder, get you guys some PSAs before we get back into softball here. One moment. Let's see, what do you guys want to hear for this time? It's basically story time here at the GioMoShow, trying to find which ad to read. Or which PSA, rather, to read. Here we go, a baseball-themed one. How's that sound? So, a little story here. I was at my nephew's Little League game the other day, and the kid's pitcher was throwing tomatoes instead of curveballs. It was a messy game, to say the least, but eating a healthy diet of fruits and vegetables instead of throwing them could help keep your body healthy and strong. Packed with nutrients, they could give you the energy you need to hit a grand slam, run, throw, think, and eat better. Can your food do that? Find out more at smallstep.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Ad Council, and this station. Eat your fruits and vegetables. Kids, adults, everyone in between. Never too late to start eating your vegetables. All right, anyway, we'll get into softball here, and then we'll wrap up the show here. Let me tell you about the Eli Andrews Show, though. First, Thursdays at 10 p.m., right here on WXOU, the Eli Andrews Show arises from the darkness. Eli and Andrew, with the FCC guidelines dying down after 10 p.m., Eli Sepulveda and Andrew Deacon will ask their guests the wildest questions that they write for each other. There is no boundary for the questions, and when I say they write for each other, neither Eli nor Andrew know the questions they'll be asking because they'll write it on a piece of paper, hand it to them for them to read. So it's all surprise, it's all off script, and it's all genuine on the Eli Andrews Show. So join in on the hilarity Thursdays at 10 p.m. right here on WXOU After Hours. So now getting into softball. Oakland University is in the middle of the Indiana Invite so far, or they play Indiana University, Dayton, or they play Indiana University and Dayton in 5 games, or at least what was scheduled to be 5 games. But the first Indiana game got canceled, leading them to play them. Forgive me, I'm trying to work my way through the schedule. So this past Friday, they were supposed to play Indiana for the first time, but the game was canceled. Thus, they played them again on Saturday afternoon, unfortunately, with a 3-0 loss from Indiana. They then went on Sunday morning to play the University of Dayton. Unfortunately, the Golden Grizzlies lost that one 10-1 up in the morning. And then they played Dayton once more. This time, the old Golden Grizzlies got the best of the Flyers. I forget what Dayton is. 3-1 was the final score. A win for the Golden Grizzlies in the Indiana Invite. And currently, they are playing Indiana for their scheduled third time, but in real life, second time. They started that right at the top of the show here. 12 o'clock was the first pitch. So we'll give you an update, at least as of right now, for the softball game. It is currently a 6-0 lead at the bottom of the third for Indiana, unfortunately. 5 runs scored in the second inning by Indiana, and then one more in this bottom of the third. Still going with a single out. Got a little bit of a ways to go. 2 on base currently. And, not a great start so far for the Golden Grizzlies, but the game is not over, and I would not put past a comeback win, or I wouldn't put a comeback win past the Golden Grizzlies. But as it stands right now, with that game, or without that game, Oakland is 6-6 overall in their first 12 games of the season. Their coming up schedule will be their first Horizon League triple header, or not triple header, they don't play it the same day. 3-game series against Northern Kentucky, the reigning champions of the Horizon League. The team that beat them last year in the championship game is their first Horizon League regular season matchup. Friday the 15th, 3 p.m., they will be at Northern Kentucky. And then Saturday, for the doubleheader to finish out the series. And then next Tuesday, the 19th, they will be coming home to play the Western Michigan Broncos at the Oakland softball field. And if you're not sure where the softball field is, if you're going down Pioneer Drive and you're going past the parking garage across from Pauley, it is behind the parking garage. It is, we'll say, around the corner behind the soccer field. So it's a nice walk around Oakland's campus to go and find it. But beyond the soccer field is where you find the softball field. And you can watch your Golden Grizzlies next Tuesday, the 19th, at 4 p.m. to face the Western Michigan Broncos. And then March 22nd, on a Friday, 3 p.m., Oakland will open up their home Horizon League season against IUPUI. Friday the 22nd at 3 p.m. is the home opening weekend for the Golden Grizzlies, as I'm sure Western is just, not worthy of festivities. But that's okay. That's all good here. But either way, that is your wrap-up of basketball, of men's basketball, of women's basketball, baseball, and softball. It's going to be a big day here for the Golden Grizzlies. And unfortunately, we are a little bit early on the end of the show here. But for you guys watching on YouTube and for you guys listening at WXOU.org, the GioMoShow thanks you for your viewership here. It's always so much fun to see what you guys got going on, to hear from you guys in the chat. J Money Sniper says hello, and I say hello back. And yes, to answer the comment that I took very long to get to, but for the user no period, there was also tattoos done by the swim team during the Purdue Fort Wayne game. That yes, you're thinking correctly. So it was Cleveland State about a couple of weeks ago. That was the Blacktop Barbershop. That's when they were shaving their heads. And then this past game against Purdue Fort Wayne was the milk chugging, was the tattoo, was the waxing, and proved to do very well, I would say. And to get back into the topic here, it's what college sports are all about. You guys this weekend, or throughout this week, there's going to be college basketball going on the whole time here. So when you're not watching the Golden Grizzlies, when you're watching the other games, see what their student sections are doing. Pay attention to see some of the, maybe they got quirky traditions. Maybe they got a colored day with a white out or a blue out or something like that. Pay attention to what the other universities are doing in their student sections, because that is what college sports is about. College sports, is the front porch to a university. It's the first thing that most people will see to figure out if a university even exists or not. UofM and MSU, yes, they're big brands and they're big, long-standing, traditional brands, but I don't know if you would have known them from their educational department, or, some people know Michigan State for their agricultural engineering, program department. But all in all, it's the sports that is the front porch and is the gateway and is the introduction for many students to their university. And a lot of what they look at is how excited are the students for their team. Is there events surrounding their sporting events? Is there ways to get involved in that way? Is there fun stuff to do with your friends? That's what people look for a university. And by Oakland having the same energy that you guys have, that you guys put on national television, that you guys have been bringing this season, that's building the culture here. That's building Oakland University up to not be this boring university that people think it is. To build it up to not be this third-tier university. No, that's not what Oakland is. Oakland's got a rich history, not only in academics but in athletics as well. We broke off from Michigan State back in the day to become our own. First as the Oakland Pioneers, with Pioneer Pete as our mascot, to now the D1 Golden Grizzlies. I don't want to be attached and associated with Michigan State any longer, because we're not.
We are ourselves Oakland University. We stand on our own 2 feet. We have our own culture. We have our own facilities and teams. We got everything here. I don't want people to envy those who go to the bigger universities, because I got friends that go to the big ones. I got friends that go to Michigan State, and I got a brother that goes to UofM. And you know what? I'm not jealous at all. I'm here at Oakland University. I'm making my time worthwhile. I'm having my fun here at Oakland University. Through the sports, through getting involved here at WXOU, through letting myself have fun. I see that all too often, to where, for some reason, I'm getting back into my senior speech here, but for some reason, it's cool to not like the university. For some reason, people gravitate towards that. They find a lot more joy in not liking the university, and they somehow enjoy the idea that there's nothing to do around here. They just had this preconceived notion that because the weekends might look a little empty here on campus. Yes, it's a mostly commuter student body, but just because you don't see everybody walking around at all times, zipping on scooters and, spilling over into the streets, just because you're not seeing that does not mean that there's nothing to do here at Oakland. There is things to do. I don't want people to just sit around, go to school for 4 years and do nothing. To me, it's a waste of an experience. You're already investing so much to be here, to get your degree and to build yourself up to be a bigger and better person. Why not enjoy it? I don't understand that kind of philosophy of just sitting around and accepting it. Go and find stuff to do. There is fun stuff to do here. Whether it's having a show here at WXOU, like the GioMoShow. Whether it's calling play-by-play for our sports and to get involved in them that way. Whether it's to be and go to Grizz Gang events. SPB's got a bunch of events. Whether it's getting involved in news coverage here, at either at WXOU or the Oakland Post. There is so much to do here. Fraternities, sororities. There's clubs, there's activities, there's sports. There's everything to do here. There's club sports. There's the rec center. You could get involved in that way as well. There's so much to do at this campus, and it hurts to see people just let it all go by. That's the message I want to leave here as a senior. That I want to leave the message to those here at Oakland University: resist the urge and resist the notion that there's nothing to do here. There's always stuff to do here. Sometimes you just got to go dig it up and find it. Don't leave Oakland University empty-handed. Don't leave Oakland University without experiencing something that you'll carry with and learn about yourself for the rest of your life. If you want testimony of that, from me getting involved at WXOU, I'm now really involved in sports. Originally, I came to school here for engineering, but I found a passion in sports. That never would have happened if I didn't come here to WXOU. And there's countless stories of those joining a club or doing a sport and finding their passion in that. You can't find your passion if you don't look for it. You can't find what drives you and is constantly in your head and is your driving motivation. You can't find that unless you go look for it. It's not going to hit you in the face. It's not going to just magically appear. All it takes is to go out and try something. It's to go out and let yourself experience different things. For example, if you don't think that you're good on air and you don't think that you have a good voice, how do you know that unless you try? Maybe you enjoy the behind-the-scenes things here at WXOU. Maybe you want to operate the board. Maybe you want to manage the social media. You don't know any of these things unless you try and do it. And if you don't like it after trying it, try something else. The point of going to college, in addition to getting your degree and advancing yourself in a career, is to find who you are. And pay attention to the way I said, find who you are. You have to go out and find it. It's not going to come to you. You have, if you stay still, laws of physics say you're going to continue to stay still. And you won't grow. And you won't find things that you love. That at a larger sense of what my senior speech is in regarding going and experiencing Oakland sports, just go out and experience Oakland University, man. Get involved. Try things. If you don't like it, keep looking. You will find something. There's something for everyone here, and that's not cliche. You might not know it's for you unless you try it. And then it might be your thing. Then it might be an integral part of your identity. Maybe it's something that you will continue to do and participate in for years to come. But you're not going to know that. You're not going to find that if all you do is just sit around and complain that there's nothing to do here. If that's your mentality, then I hope you liked yourself freshman year, because that's the person you're going to continue to be. Unless you go out and try things. So that's going to wrap it up here on the JoMo Show. Filled out the last 10 minutes. How about that? I'm a pro. I'm a freaking pro here. But that will close out the JoMo Show here. Your home for Oakland sports and beyond. We talked about basketball, both men's and women's. We talked about the diamond sports, both baseball and softball. And we gave a little bit of a heavy dose of the senior speech of host Giovanni Moscheri. You can listen to tonight's game on WXOU right here for men's basketball in the semifinals of the Horizon League against Cleveland State. You can listen to that 7 o'clock right here on WXOU or on WXOU Sports on YouTube. We got the watch party tonight in the Habitat, to get around everybody, get excited for your team and watch it with your own eyes. And the JoMo Show will be back here, same time, same place, on WXOU Mondays at noon. This has been the JoMo Show.